The rain hit the windshield like tiny bullets as I drove up the winding forest road. My 3-day weekend business trip had been cut short, deal fell through, and I just wanted to get back to my mountain cabin. Solitude, fresh pine air, no cell service. It was perfect. Until I rounded the final bend. There were lights on. My cabin, deep in the woods, isolated, was lit up like a Christmas tree. Music thudded through the windows. A grill was smoking on the back deck. Voices. Laughter. Children, asterisk asterisk. I pulled into my driveway, stunned. A strange SUV and a minivan sat where my Jeep should be. I recognized the silver Lexus. Karen, asterisk asterisk. President of the HOA. Self-righteous, endlessly nosy, and the worst kind of entitled. She lived at the bottom of the hill but had always offered to watch over my property while I was gone. But this? This wasn't watching. This was trespassing. I got out of the car and walked up the steps. A kid I'd never seen burst out the front door holding my marshmallow roasting sticks. "Who are you?" he asked. "I'm the guy who owns this place," I said. "Where's your mom?" Karen appeared in the doorway, wine glass in hand, her eyes going wide, then narrowing. "Oh," she said coolly, "you're back early." "Clearly," I said. "What the hell are you doing in my house?" She tilted her head, as if I were the unreasonable one. "I told you I'd keep an eye on things while you were gone. When the storm rolled in last night, the power was out down the hill. I thought it safer to bring the kids up here." "With all your luggage?" I asked, gesturing to the suitcases by the fireplace. "And your husband in my robe?" Her husband appeared behind her, holding a beer and looking sheepish. "You're being dramatic," Karen said. "We didn't mean to intrude. Just needed a place to stay. We figured you wouldn't be back until Monday." "Get out," I said flatly. Her smile hardened. "This is an HOA-protected community, remember? I have authority here. You're making a scene." "I'm calling the sheriff," I said. "You won't need to," Karen said, stepping inside. Because she already had, asterisk asterisk. 15 minutes later, red and blue lights painted the pine trees. I stood in my own driveway, arms crossed, while Karen whispered to the deputy. She pointed at me a few times. He nodded, scribbling in a notepad. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but I could guess. When he approached, his face was unreadable. "Mr. Hanley?" he asked. "Yeah. Karen says you made threats. That you showed up aggressive, screaming at her family." "That's a lie," I said. "They broke into my house. She says she has texts from you giving her permission to use it in emergencies." My heart sank. "No way. I never." She pulled out her phone. "Here," she said smugly, flipping it around. The screen showed a text from me, dated 2 weeks ago, asterisk, of course. "Help yourself if something ever comes up. You know the spare key spot. Thanks again. Asterisk." Only. I never sent that. "That's not real," I said. "I never wrote that." The officer frowned. "You saying this is fabricated?" "Yes." Karen folded her arms. "I think he's having some kind of episode. He's always been high-strung. Maybe he needs help." The deputy asked to see my ID. And then, inside my house, a child screamed. The scream made everyone freeze. Karen bolted inside first, followed by her husband and the deputy. I followed too, heart pounding. "Tommy," she shouted. The boy was at the basement door, pale-faced, pointing. "He went down there." "The man." "What man?" Karen snapped. "I don't know. He came out of the laundry room." We all stared at each other. My stomach turned. "There's no man living here," I said. The deputy unholstered his flashlight. "Let's take a look." We descended the creaking stairs. The basement was cold and smelled of concrete and mildew. The laundry room door was half open. We entered cautiously. Nothing. Then the deputy knelt. "What's this?" Behind the dryer was a narrow crawlspace I didn't know existed. A dusty handle protruded from the wall. A hidden door. A room behind it. And inside? A cot. Empty food wrappers. A backpack. Someone had been living there. The manhunt began at dawn. The sheriff's department swept the forest for the mystery squatter, who had apparently been living under my house undetected for weeks. He was gone, but the signs were clear. He'd been there during my last stay. And maybe longer. Karen had no words. For once, she was pale and silent. She and her family left without a fight. I stayed behind with the deputy while investigators taped off my property. "That forged message," I told him, "I swear I never sent that." He nodded. "We'll be checking her phone records. Don't worry." Later, a detective would confirm it had been a spoofed number. Karen had used a burner phone to send the text and deleted it from her own log. It was premeditated. She had been planning to use my cabin, maybe all summer, and hoped I wouldn't find out. But the real twist? The man in the basement? He wasn't a stranger, ***. Weeks later, they caught him in town, trying to use my credit card. He wasn't just a squatter, he was Karen's cousin, a fugitive with warrants. She had hidden him in my house. She'd called the cops on me to cover her tracks. Now she was the one in handcuffs. And me? I installed cameras. Bought a new lock. And slept with the lights on.